guys, it's Kevin from Humboldtcraftworks. How's it going today? The sun's out. It's a beautiful day here in Humboldt County, California. If you don't know how to use a belt sander, I got lots of stuff to belt sand today, so I will show you how I do it. I'll try to go through the steps that I do when I'm belt sanding and the problems I have with belt sanding sometimes and the things I did in the past that really screwed things up and the things I'm doing now that don't do it so much. So yeah, here we go. Belt sanding 101. How to belt sand without destroying the piece of wood. That's what we're going to go over right now. All right, and here we go. Woo! You thought I disappeared, didn't you? All right, here we go. So the first thing we need to talk about is safety. Whenever you're using a belt sander, I'm using my little porter cable here. Always unplug it. Do not plug this thing in and work on this thing. So, belt sander. First thing you want to do is put on a belt. To put on a belt, if it has arrows telling you which direction to go, the belt goes this way. Okay? So when you start it, it's going to take off on you like that. So this is a unidirectional belt. It doesn't really matter. It has no arrows. Has no arrows. So you put the belt on just like that, right to the edge of the rollers. Edge of the rollers. See right there? Okay. You've clicked it into place. Now, after you've done all that, and your dust collector's on there, and you make sure your trigger lock's not on, because that would just be silly. Plug her in. I gotta put my glasses on because I don't want to get dusted out because this thing's stupid. And turn it on. Ah, I guess I have to turn on the power. Here we go. And turn it on. See? Dust. These things are silly. There's a little knob right on this side over here. This controls how the this front wheel moves, and it'll make the paper go this way or this way. You turn it on. That move. That way. Yeah. I'm getting dusted out. So you want to make sure it's on the wheel, all the way on the wheel. If it goes over too far and gets into here, it'll just chew itself up and spark and all sorts of bad things. That's not a good thing. All right, so right in the middle, there's a platen right in here. You want to keep it even on the platen. The closer you get to the center, see how the platen's showing right there? Little platen. So I'm going to turn it so it's a little bit more over this way and get dusted out again. Okay, so it's pretty close. Pretty close. Even. You want it even on the platen. It should stick out a little bit on both sides. That way you don't get any finger marks. And I'll explain finger marks later. And you have this and it's ready to go. It's not wandering by itself. It's not taking off. It's not shooting over to this side or that side. But let's go over a few other things first. So your piece of wood or whatever you're going to stick down there, I don't clamp it because clamps get in the way. I put screws. I don't know if you can see these little screws, but 2 little screws. I just screw them into my worktop. Yeah, there you should see my worktop. It's a mess. And then this will just butt into that, so it works like a bench dog. Ain't going anywhere. All right. Ooh. What do you do next? Well, this was planed. It's a little over 3/4 of an inch. It's a little fat. And the seam, there's a seam, one seam in here. Because my planer is only 15 inches, and this is 20. I plane both sides, glue it together as flat as possible, and I'll make a little video, put it over here somewhere, how to glue things up flat. It's not hard, it's very simple. 3-minute video, 5-minute video, whatever. I'll try to make this as fast as possible. I marked the seam. Okay, this seam's up a little bit. The other side was pretty flat. And that's going to happen. Even if they're planed at the same thickness, just gluing things up, things move, and you get a little offset. So, don't ever start your thing. Put it down on the wood. Okay? That's no good. Doesn't work at all. When I start the thing, I'm gonna go straight back and forth like this. I'm not gonna go around in circles. I'm not gonna do anything. I'm gonna start the belt sander and just let it, just get the feel for it. So you start it. Okay? Simple. I'm holding on to it and I'm pulling the trigger, but I'm not forcing it one way or the other. I'm not turning my wrist. I'm just letting it float. When you got a brand new piece of sandpaper on here, this thing's going to grab pretty hard and it's going to try to pull you around. So you got to get used to the feeling. The other thing is, I don't know why Porter Cable makes them, but these cables are way too short. The problem with short cords, you'll be going like this, and as you come back, sometimes the cord will catch up and you'll run it over. That's not good. This thing, if it jumps like this, it does anything, it digs into your piece. It'll ruin your piece, just like that. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go back and forth this way. Forwards and back, and cross the line. Here's my line right here. And cross the line and just keep going. And every time I'm gonna take like a step forward, I'm gonna do the same exact thing. All the way down. So boom, and take a step, and I'm gonna do this. Laying it flat, I'm not pushing it, I'm not doing anything, I'm just kind of controlling it very slightly. You don't want to tilt your hands like this, you just want to let it go forwards and backwards. Okay? You let it run. You sand, and you let go of the trigger, or you unlock the trigger, and just let it coast to a stop. And always keep moving it. You don't want to go around. I've seen people, oh, you want to go around in circles. No, you don't want to go around in circles. Straight back and forth, and just slightly move it, just slightly feather it as you keep going. You get a rhythm, and you'll feel the rhythm, and you just go. You know, you got the music in your head going, like that. Okay, so you can see where I sanded. And I still have some marks. What I'll do is, since this side is higher than this side, I'm going to go back and forth on this a couple times and then cross the line and then keep working this side. So whatever side's higher, you want to work that side just a little bit more. A little bit more. The other thing you can also do is, this one has a speed controller on it. Speed control. So if you want to put it on slow to start with, you can try that. I really don't do that. I've been doing it so long I forget about it. But speed control, if you have it, you want to slow it down, I'll try it. Let's see. All right. I turned it down to 1. Let's see what happens. Hope I don't ruin this. Go really slow. That's boring. Turn it back up. All right, here we go. Stop it and then pull it to a stop. Don't let it sit in one spot. Pull it to a stop. If you just stop it and leave it in one spot, you're going to dig a hole. That's not good. So now you can see this side here, this is high, that's low because of the pencil marks. Pencil marks help you out. This side's low, this side's high. This is pretty good right here, and this side's higher than this one. So, and always if you have a square or something, or a flat edge, straight edge, piece of wood that's joined, always check. Make sure your stuff is flat, because it's a good thing if it's flat. Flat is good. So I'm going to work this side, and then over to here, and then I'm going to work this side over to here, and then I'm going to work this side and go that way, just back and forth. Okay, here we go. Practice makes perfect. Here we go. Keep it moving. You don't want to let it sit in one spot. I'll get a piece of scrap wood and show you what happens when you do that. And it's just for a second. Okay, so sanding. I don't know if you can really see that. Yeah, it left a mark. It digs in. It's like, you can feel it. Trust me, you can feel it. It's got to dig in there. What I'm going to do, I'll show you all the things you're not supposed to do. Oh boy. What you want to make sure you don't do is turn with your hands. You just kind of let it float and try to keep your arms straight as possible and just let it float across this way. When you turn, you see that mark? That's a finger mark. Finger marks are bad. That's what happens when you tilt from side to side. What you don't want to do is start it, and put it down. See how it jumped? See that? Made a divot. Okay? Always start on the wood. What happens when you go off the end? Here, watch. All right, you're sanding. Whoa. 2 seconds. Let's see, I don't know if you can see that or not. See the end? You can instantly ruin your piece by doing stupid things. Practice makes perfect. I'm going to say it 10,000 times. Practice, practice, practice. Make sure your finger lock is off and you're unplugged. Always. When you're done using a belt sander, unplug it. Very important. Yeah, I'm just over here belt sanding. Oh yeah, well, I gotta go. I'll see you later. And oh God. And then off goes your belt sander, and Bob doesn't care, and you've just ruined your piece of wood and all that stuff. So make sure your finger lock is off and you're unplugged. Always. Very important. All right. That was fun. Next. And let it just kind of move forward. Okay. And as you're ending, let it stop before you stop moving it. So when it's ending, you let it stop before it's done. Just keep moving it until it stops. Don't do this. And don't do this. That's a bad thing. Not good. The important things to remember when you're belt sanding is no loose clothing, okay? Nothing hair, no long hair. It'll just pull your hair right out. I've seen it happen once. Not good. Make sure your sandpaper is centered in the platen. Adjust it. Make sure this is centered. It's a good thing. And you should actually, when you're adjusting this thing, adjust it this way, because you can move it like this and move it like that. Any way you move it will change the way the centrifugal forces work with that belt. So you want to basically adjust it the way that you're going to use it, okay? Always unplug it when you're attaching your paper. So if you're changing your paper out from 80 to 100 or whatever, make sure you're unplugged. It's very important. You should always wear safety glasses. You should always have a mask on and headphones. I didn't through the whole thing because I have to talk to you guys. You can adjust your speed slower if you want. I don't really like it slow, but if you're just starting out and you have an adjustable speed thing, put it on low and practice. It might be good. The higher the grit, the easier it'll move. So if you find belts that are like 220, it'll slide over the stuff super easy. If you put on a belt that's like 60 grit, you're gonna have to hold on to it because it's gonna grip. It's just like big knobbies on a tire. The thicker the grit, the harder it's gonna pull. Always turn off your sander and then let it come to a complete stop as you're moving it. Don't let it come to a complete stop standing still. The other thing you gotta watch is your cord. Sometimes your cord will get stuck on something. Let's say this was a little closer, or even a tool gets hooked around a tool and it will pull and knock things over. Especially down here, like this was getting stuck on the plug itself. You gotta watch that because if it pulls while you're sanding and it does something like this, it's gonna mess your piece up really bad. Anyway, so I got this, and if you want to know if you got any dings or anything in it, you take your gloves off. A trade secret here. Take your gloves off. Don't look at what you've just sanded and run your hands over it. Look somewhere else. And you'll be able to find, just like if you didn't have any eyesight. Dusty. You like this? Okay. You'll be able to feel something, unless you have dead hands. You'll be able to feel something faster than you'll see it. See if you can feel any divots or dings. I don't feel nothing. Feels good. Nice and smooth. So once you've done that, you just use your orbital sander. I used 120 on the belt. I'm going to use 150 to sand it, and that's it. Done. All right. This is Kevin signing off from Humboldt County, California. Thanks for watching. If you like the video, hit the like button, hit the little bell if you want to hear more baloney from me. And then, yeah, and then subscribe if you haven't subscribed. All right, I'll see you next time. This is Kevin from Humboldt County signing off. Thanks for watching. You have an awesome day. Bye. Uh-oh. Okay. Pull back with the arm. Out like this. Here. Don't do that. It's silly. Look there a little bit. Here.